Well, hello there. I recently got exposed to by far the absolutely worst anti-woke YouTube channel on the entire site, beating out people such as The Quartering even. So how many of you have heard about the YouTuber AndyPants Gaming? He's essentially one of those YouTubers who thinks having a gay character in a game makes it woke. You know, the type of content that we left back in like 2018, 2019. His videos are kind of just slideshows. Hell, sometimes when he shows off gameplay, you can actually see him unpause the video in real time. Now, I'm not the first guy to cover Andy, and I'm sure I will not be the last, but I still figured I'd make a video on him because I saw his content recently, and it's just too good to pass up on. Now, there are 3 videos that I want to show specifically because they're absolutely hilarious for all the wrong reasons. We're going to start with his video, Why Modern Characters Suck.
Anybody have that friend who always falls for it? No matter what gay communist slop EA or Ubisoft or Warner Brothers churns out.
So from the first few seconds of the video alone, you can already tell this is going to be a good one.
I've noticed that what the consumer cuck will often say is this: just play it for the gameplay, man. Who cares that you're playing as a black disabled girl boss? Aren't we just playing for the gameplay anyway?
So the main point of this video is that people who want to play games for gameplay are dumb because every game really heavily relies on who you play and who that character is. He lists good examples like Joel from The Last of Us and Solid Snake, and then he lists Mario and Pac-Man. Mario has been the same static character for like literally 40 years, and Pac-Man is just a guy who eats shit. What personality does Pac-Man have?
Good video games are as much about who you are as what you are doing.
Okay, so I don't think I have to say this, but not every game needs a really good protagonist to be a good game. I mean, think about it. Portal and Half-Life have like completely mute main characters who have basically not a lot of personality at all. We still like those games, right? He brings up the game Deathloop, saying that the game has great gameplay, but that the game is entirely ruined because the main character is an annoying leftist or some shit.
Deathloop was such a shame because despite having really good gameplay for most of the game, it ruins it by having main characters like Juliana, who is the most annoying, shrill, harpy leftist of a girl boss lesbian character I've met in my life.
Now, his definition of girl boss is far different than the actual definition, but he calls her lesbian, yet I have not seen anything online to back this up, and I searched. Hell, the only romance I actually found in the game is between the male main character and a girl, so what do you mean? And he threw up the trans flag, but she's not trans either. Where did that come from?
By the way, you want to talk about white man bad games? Bro, Deathloop. Every single villain in the game is white and the 2 good people in the game are black. Wild stuff.
I don't know why having black protagonists but white villains makes it racist, but okay.
Remember that game that told me, let your empathy guide you? Nah, that's gay.
Now, I haven't played this game, but once again, this character is not a lesbian. She's just a black woman. He then brings up that 80% of the people who play AAA games are men, so that if your main character is a woman, you have to make her interesting.
We know that like 80% of AAA video game players are men, so if you're immediately throwing a woman as the main character of the game at us, you're going to need to work really hard to convince us that we want to play as this character.
Which, you know, I think makes sense. His example is Tomb Raider from 2013, which is fire, by the way. But his first thing he brings up to make her interesting is her looks.
I want to talk about Tomb Raider 2013 because if you contextualize it well, playing as a woman can be just as fun of a game. First off, she's sexy as hell. That's important. Why would you have a woman in a game and not make her hot?
I'm sorry, you can't say this and not sound like a virgin. Like, this is virgin energy. Now he's about to talk a lot about The Last of Us 2.
Gameplay and character are in perfect harmony. Unfortunately, now it's time to talk about the woke gay slop that was created in 2020 in the game's sequel, Last of Us Part 2.
So he's already getting one thing wrong here. He's saying the lesbian themes of Ellie only appeared in The Last of Us 2. This is wrong. In the DLC to the first game, Ellie kisses her friend Riley. It's just a blatant lie. Another thing Andy tries to say is that the villain Abby is another lesbian.
I honestly didn't mind the first half of the game. I was furious at Abby, and I was invested in seeing this ugly steroid-using lesbian get a bullet in her brain.
Would you believe me if I said he's wrong again? Abby actually has a sex scene with a guy later in the game. It seems like every woman character he doesn't like is a lesbian somehow. So he loops back around to shit on Deathloop, and for some reason brings up that the creator is trans, like that matters.
Just as the cherry on top, the creator of the game is, wait for it, trans. So when the creator of your game isn't even sure what gender they are, it follows that they don't really understand normal human emotions and motivation either.
Anyway, that was video 1. Now we're on to video 2. 2005 military games versus 2025 military games. So this video is essentially old FPS games compared to new ones. Like, yeah, look at this game. All realism, no gay shit. Yeah, testosterone, explosions, it's so lit. And then he compares it to modern day Call of Duty. I don't know, am I supposed to be mad at this? I mean, some of these skins look dope as shit, like look at that one. How are you supposed to look at this and say this isn't cool? Then he compares that to COD from 2005 when graphics were worse, and compares that to Battlefield 2042. He just plays a bunch of characters saying dialogue. I don't know, am I supposed to be upset by the dialogue or something? I mean, that's basically the whole video. It's just video game from 2005 versus new game from recent times. He just expects you to be upset by the mere existence of these games, which, like, I don't know, I'm not. If you want to have a generic military shooter of like 6 random military guys versus 6 other random military guys, that's fine. Anyway, we're on to the last video. 3 of 4 romances in Assassin's Creed Shadows are gay. So, once again, title alone is wrong. There's actually 8 total romance paths if you count both characters. Half of them are gay, while the other half are straight. This is a narrative I've seen online, and, you know, I'm honestly gonna repeat it here because it just makes a lot of sense. You really do control the buttons you press, man. If you don't want to be gay, you don't have to be gay. No one's, like, forcing you to make out with men. I would like to say that some people are trying to make it out like this is a historical inaccuracy. No, actually, apparently homosexuality was quite common and sometimes even encouraged.
I hate video games now, dude. Like, I can't stand this shit. Y'all, this is why I exclusively play 20-year-old video games.
Jesus fucking Christ. I don't even know what to say. The screenshot speaks for itself.
I can't stand this stuff. I actually hope Jesus comes back right now so he can burn all this junk to the ground.
I'll say this. I myself am a Christian, and I fucking hate when people try and use their religion to bash minorities or like gay people. Like, this is so cringe, man.
Let's look at gay relationship number 2 and make fun of it.
I must say it is lovely. Oh.
This is a dude on the right, by the way. Maybe he's a tranny, maybe he's trans or something. I don't care, but it's a dude. So there's gonna be some fudge packing happening.
So he moves on to the non-binary character you can romance. Another thing I've seen around is that this isn't historically accurate either, but apparently it actually is. There's a whole ceremony with it.
Ubisoft is actively working with the Canadian government, CSE, to censor negative Assassin's Creed Shadows coverage.
Not only does this just sound wrong, but it turns out, you know, once again, it is wrong. I actually went down the rabbit hole and read this article and, you know, others like it. Turns out Ubisoft is prepared to go after people who are targeting and harassing specific developers of the game, not the game itself. If they were going after criticism in general, then there wouldn't be hundreds of negative reviews of the game or videos saying the game is bad. Hell, if they were targeting criticism, then this video wouldn't be allowed.
Absolutely insane where we're headed as a society. Ubisoft is preparing to curb the backlash against critics of Assassin's Creed Shadows. They're going as far as sending lawyers after you if they deem your criticism a targeted attack or harassment.
They're not doing legal shit to criticism. They're doing legal shit if you harass employees. That's why Ubisoft told them not to say they worked on the game publicly. That's in the article that you provided. How did you miss that?
These people are such pussies, dude. It's like your criticism of a game now is being considered targeted harassment. Like, you're not, guys, in the globalist goy slop Jewish economy.
Whoa, what the fuck? Why did the Jews just catch a stray? What the hell? What did the Jews do?
Yasuke, whatever, however the heck you say his name, the dude, he was a slave and he was an oddity, and he was at some point a personal bodyguard of Nabunga. But there is no evidence that he was trained as a samurai. There's no evidence that he was a warrior.
To be fair, this is the first thing he's kind of right about. Apparently the definition of samurai was ambiguous back then, but Yasuke, the main character that the game is based on, was given the title of vassal, which modern day historians consider the same as the title of samurai. So he may not have had the title, but like it's still like the same thing. And now we finally get to the end of the video. And Andy decides to put on his tinfoil hat and do some theory crafting on this one. He decides to ask the question, probably 7 people were wondering, why is the main character of the new Assassin's Creed a black man? Is it A, because they want to, B, because they want to, or C, because they want to? If your guess was D, George Floyd, you'd be correct.
This fat trans chick is going to educate you on inequality and being more inclusive and racial injustice. Now, what is their proof that America is a racially unjust place? Well, they think George Floyd proves that we live in a society with inequality.
Obviously, the answer had to be George Floyd. It couldn't be because they wanted to make a game based on like a pretty unique figure in Japanese history. No, obviously George Floyd is the reason the new Assassin's Creed character is black. You've cracked the code.
That we live in an unjust or an unequal society. Look at these stats. These are some interesting stats.
Oh, fuck. Now, I'm not anywhere near smart enough to talk about racial injustice in the US. I'm just here to laugh at dumb people, but to say America is the least racist country on earth is just a little ignorant. You have the liberty to say anything you want in this country, which means anyone can say anything they want in this country. And that's totally fine. You can do whatever, you can say whatever the hell you want. But it also means that morons can say their opinion. Also, the statistic he shows is from 2015, by the way. I don't know, I thought that was funny. With that, though, we can end the video and close the book on Andy's channel. I want to make this clear, by the way. I do heavily disagree with what Andy is saying, but he does have the right to say what he's saying. I'll defend his freedom of speech, and I hope he would do the same to mine, but I just personally disagree with, like, most things he says. Also, for anyone mad that I called this guy a grifter, it's self-admitted.
I've grown since then, and I've moved on from former views.
Yeah, you've moved on from the Xbox console warrior grift to the
100%.
Anti-LGBTQ grift.
Sure, if that's what you want to call it. Have you?
That's what it is, man.
Anyway, I don't know. Join the Discord, follow the Twitter, and subscribe, I guess. Or I don't know. Woke liberals will brainwash you or some shit. I have no fucking clue. Anyway, I don't know. Later.